so versatile, whether you're out in the yard, in the shop, at your house, out camping, on the road traveling. This thing is just perfect. Hi there, welcome back. My name is Larry if you're new. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, you probably have seen that I'm pretty fond of BLUETTI power stations. I use them all the time when I'm camping in my camping videos. And when BLUETTI reached out and asked if I wanted to test out a new product they're just coming out with, this Elite 100 V2 power station, of course I said yeah. You know, they sent it to me. I wasn't really 100% sure about this because for me, I always thought for power stations, the bigger the better. After sending this to me, I was actually quite shocked that this has kind of become one of my favorite go-to power stations to use, just because it's so easy to carry around and portable. I mean, you can have the biggest power station in the world, not necessarily this one, but you can have the biggest power station in the world, and if you can't carry it around and have it somewhere where it's convenient to use, then you're never going to use it. So this is nice. It's got a really nice sized pure sine wave inverter in it, which is great. It'll run most of your household appliances, charge up your laptop, anything like that, your phones. I like to use it for Instant Pot and just plugging in random things around the house. So let's go ahead and we'll just kind of go over the whole thing, front to back, and then we'll plug a few things in and check this thing out in action. All right, so across the front here, it has most of your basic stuff. You got your AC plugs right here, which are actually pretty nice because they're pretty well spread out in case you have a big laptop plug adapter, something in there like that. I actually like that they don't have the rubber flaps on them. For me, sometimes they just kind of get in the way. This, of course, is a pure sine wave inverter, and it has a 1800 watt power inverter built inside, which is great. I think that's gonna run most anything that you're gonna need on something this size. Across the front here, you have your ports. You have a USB-C 140 watt. You also have a USB-C 100 watt over here. You have your USB-A's right down here in the middle, both 15 watts. Over here you have a couple 12 volt barrel plugs. You've got your cigarette lighter plug right there, 12 volt, 10 amps. And then right here is actually your DC PV input. So it's an XT60 plug, to where you can plug in your cigarette lighter adapter like in your car if you want to charge this while you're driving down the road. You can also use it to plug in your solar panels or anything like that. The screen, I think, are great. They don't show anything you don't need to know. It's just your basic info. You have your input, your output, and then it shows the battery, the state of charge of the battery. And then down below, it'll show when it's in a current condition. If something's plugged into it, it'll show how long it's gonna run for. Over here on the side, you have your 20 amp circuit breaker. Then you have your AC input right here, which I love that it's not a proprietary plug. You can just use a computer style plug cord. And then you have a little ground, which is great. On this side, just a vent fan, and then nothing on the back. You can just see the handle. It's all built in, real nice. It doesn't stick out. Don't have to worry about it breaking off. I'll show you the cords that come with it. This is gonna be your just regular AC charging cord. You can get these basically anywhere. It's also gonna come with this cord. This is gonna be your XT60 that's gonna plug into the front. And then it has your MC4 connectors that you can plug into like a DC charger, or most commonly your solar panels. Now when you're charging this thing, you have several different options. When you're charging it with the AC plug and you have it plugged into the wall, there's a way to turn it to a standard mode to where it will bring in power at 600 watts or 1200 watts on turbo mode. On turbo mode, it will charge from 0 to full in 1 hour. And at 600 watts, it will charge from 0 to full in 2 hours. When you have it plugged in, your PV cord plugged in, and say you have it plugged into your solar panels, it will accept 1000 watts max or 60 volts. It's always good to check the volts when you have your solar panels setting out, just to make sure you don't go over. You don't want to damage one of these devices. But let me show you how you could change the different charge settings inside the app that they have. So this is a BLUETTI app right here, very easy to use. This is just the open screen. When you first open it up, it shows the battery state, shows all the information you're gonna need, your AC, DC output, and your PV input and your grid input if you have it plugged into the wall. You have options down here to turn on and off the DC side or the AC side. It has a little button right up here, which is going to be more of a advanced settings, which is where you can come in and change the charge mode right here. Right now it's set on turbo, but you can change it to standard, silent, or turbo. If we just set it to standard and then we plug it in, it'll show that we're going to bring in 600 watts, which we'll do that right now. So now right here, we'll just plug this into the side, and then we'll plug it into this extension cord, which is plugged into the wall. Turn the screen around. It'll show your input right here, charging at 600 watts. Now if we go into the app again real quick, and we go to the charging mode and turn that to turbo, you'll see it jump up to 1200 watts. And it's showing that this thing from 65% to full will be charged in 0.3 hours. So less than a half an hour. Okay, just show you what you're getting in such a small package here. This is gonna have 1,024 watt hour battery capacity, and this is gonna be a competitor brand over here, and this is only gonna have 768 watt hour battery capacity. This also only has a 1200 watt power inverter, and this one, of course, like we mentioned before, has an 1800 watt power inverter. So you get quite a bit more power station, and you can even see it's even just a little bit, about the same size, maybe a little bit smaller than this competitor's brand right here. Okay, so we'll just get a few things plugged in now that we're up to 84% charge, just to show how this thing works and operates these large devices. We're gonna go ahead and plug in this big shop fan right here. That thing is on high right now, pulling about 150 watts. If we were gonna run this in the shop all day at 84%, this will run for 6 hours, a little over 6 hours. Plug in this little electric heater over here. Get that thing turned on to high, max. You can see here it jumped up 2,000 watts. So this thing will cover the surge, something like this that goes up over the 1800 watt inverter. Obviously now it's going to be running closer to about 1500 watts, but sometimes these devices will surge when they first start, and this is obviously going to cover it and keep it running. And then if we were going to run this 1500 watt heater at an 82% charge, we're only going to get about 30 minutes, but this isn't really the type of power station you're going to want to run a heater like this on all day. Okay, now we have this big shop vac. This thing's going to draw a lot of amps, so we'll see if this thing can cover it. Running about 1200 watts for almost an hour. So that should get plenty of vacuuming in. You can run it almost an hour on 1200 watts. So this thing has what they call UPS, which is uninterrupted power source. So if you have your CPAP machine or let's say your internet, any kind of delicate appliance you don't want to shut off in case of a power outage, this thing can kind of act as a bypass. So currently we have it plugged into the wall. This is running that light right there. You can see if I unplug it, the light goes off, but we'll simulate a power outage, and you can watch and see that the light does not even flicker whenever I pull the plug. So if we go ahead and just pull this, let's say if the power was going out in a thunderstorm or something like that, you can see the light just stays on, no flicker, anything. That will keep your appliances running during a power outage. Then whenever the power does come back on, it will just continue running like it's supposed to. And then you don't have to worry about any kind of surges or anything like that going through your device. So as you can see, this thing will run most any of your appliances, whether it's in your house or in your shop. Now something like this I think would be great for somebody that's just getting into power stations. It's a very affordable price, and you can see how much you would use one if you would ever want to invest in something a little bit bigger down the road. I actually love using this because I live in an RV, so a lot of times I don't have a lot of outlets around, and maybe I'm using the microwave, using up a lot of my power inverter in my camper. So this is great to be able to just go and maybe set this on the kitchen table where I don't normally have an outlet, and then plug in my Instapot or charge up my, whatever, laptop, anything else like that where there's not a plug that's convenient. One more thing though, I do want to test out. It's nighttime currently right now, so we cannot plug in any solar panels, but let's go ahead. I have a DC to DC charger in my truck, and we can go ahead and plug it in to these MC4 connectors and charge it via this XT60 port. Okay, here under the back seat of my truck, I have the BLUETTI Charger 1 tied into my truck. So when I start the truck, it will actually supply 560 watts to these MC4 connectors, which we could plug into the MC4 connectors that are on this plug. So I'll go ahead and get those plugged in right now. Pretty easy, can't really mess them up. There's a male and a female. This will just plug into this XT60 port on the front. But per the instructions, we're going to go ahead and get the truck started and running for a few seconds before we plug this in. Now the truck's been running for about 30 seconds. There's a green light right there. We'll go ahead and plug this into the power station. Then we should see some input right here. There we go. Starting up. It's just ramping up slow, about 580 watts. And if I was going to charge this from this state, it's going to take 0.2 hours, so 5-10 minutes, something like that. So as you can see, this is definitely a versatile product that BLUETTI made. That's what I love about BLUETTI. They're constantly innovating, bringing new things to the table, listening to customers, finding out what we want. It's just so versatile, whether you're out in the yard, in the shop, at your house, out camping, on the road traveling. This thing is just perfect. If you're interested in this product, I'll leave a link below in the description. I'll also leave a link for the Charger 1, which is definitely a must if you're on the road a lot. Just charges this thing up nice and fast. So until next time, I'll see you guys then. Thanks, bye.